Prince Harry and Prince Andrew are desperate since they received nothing from the Queen's £650 million inheritance. Firstly, with respect to Prince Andrew, with Andrew protesting that he has no money left over to start again in life, the late Queen's whole fortune has been bequeathed to the King. According to reports, Prince Andrew has been lamenting to pals that he hasn't received any of Queen Elizabeth's rumoured £650 million inheritance because King Charles is now in complete charge of the royal purse strings. Charles, the lone inheritor, is exempt from paying taxes on the money and has thus far refrained from giving any to his younger sibling. The Duke of York reportedly feels bewildered over his lack of money because he lost his taxpayer-funded security and housing when he retired as a working royal. While his yearly £249,000 stipend will be reduced starting in April, he also risks losing Royal Lodge, the £30 million mansion in Windsor Great Park he shares with his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. With millions already invested in renovations, Andrew will find it difficult to maintain the home without the subsidy. Although both Princess Anne and Prince Edward are working royals and are funded by the sovereign grant, it is also claimed that they have some bitterness over not getting an inheritance. While Edward, who was appointed Duke of Edinburgh this week, has a 150-year lease on Bagshot Park in Surrey, Anne owns the 700-acre Gatcombe Park in the Cotswolds. Andrew's pal stated to The Sun on Sunday. He has apparently looked into it and found no motivation. He is hopeless. God forbid, he's a member of the family. What is he supposed to do? To his older brother with a cap in hand to keep a roof over his head? Although the Queen made extensive preparations for all of her children while she was still living, Charles has made it obvious that the royal budget needs to be cut. This week, it was revealed that he had declined to cover Andrew's costs for a £32,000 yogi to visit him at home and treat him. The King, though, has pledged that his brother won't be abandoned without a house. Hugo Vickers, a royal expert, stated to the Daily Mail. The royal family has performed actions of this nature in the past. In 2002, the Queen Mother bequeathed everything to the Queen, her daughter. As the monarch doesn't pay taxes, it's a means to dodge death duties and preserve the money. The Queen Mother specified which of her kin should receive whatever present, but her daughter was given final say. With the exception of his heir Prince William, the King can only make a monetary present to a friend or family member without paying royal tax if Charles lives for an additional 7 years. Mike Warburton, a well-known accountant and tax expert, said. He will not pay any death taxes on the Queen's estate when it goes from one sovereign to another because he is a king. He is allowed to give gifts to family members during their lifetimes, but if the King passed away before the 7-year window, such gifts would still be considered to be a part of his inheritance. In another news, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, expressed her relief at no longer needing to bow to Meghan Markle. The former Countess of Wessex is now equal in status with the Duchess of Sussex thanks to her new title. Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, is reportedly relieved that she has no longer had to bow to Meghan Markle because of her new title. Last Friday, King Charles gave Sophie and her husband Prince Edward the titles of Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. As a result of the promotion, Sophie is now on par with Meghan rather than below her. As Meghan held a higher position as the Duchess of Sussex, Sophie had an obligation to bow to her as the Countess of Wessex. The Daily Mail quoted a friend of the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh as saying, "Sophie is at ease. She is no longer required to bow to a member of the family who has abandoned their royal responsibilities and has spent the last 3 years criticizing the organization that Sophie works so hard to uphold." Prior to her passing, the Queen pledged that the titles would be bestowed upon Edward and Sophie last Friday, which also happened to be Edward's 59th birthday. Charles finally carried out her instructions.